I spilled water on the news. Brian Williams, always spilling water on the news. I feel like Brian Williams jizzed on the news.
It was an accident.
He just
came
got
too
excited.
early.
I'm Molly Austin.
I'm Shamika Martinez.
And welcome to What You Missed While You Were Trippin'.
Where for every bit of celebrity news, we bring you a little bit of news.
While we were tripping over Kanye West's debate over Beck's Grammy win,
the FCC is preparing to debate open internet. On February 26th, the FCC will debate the future of the internet. Right now we have a fair open internet, which means that internet traffic is treated equally, and everything is awesome!
everything is awesome.
Everything works on amotostyle.com.
For right now, yeah, that's true. The other option is where internet service providers get to pick and choose whose content gets priority. Let me guess who's gonna get priority. The people who can pay the most? Do they get the priority?
You guys really want Time Warner choosing anything for you?
No! I feel like they mess everything up. They mess everything up. They make your internet slow on purpose. They make you take your Saturdays and then they make you talk on the phone with them for 2.5 hours and they're just so polite. Do you know what I mean? But they're not helping.
Well, the FCC wants to prevent all this by making broadband a Title II service. What's Title II? Well, it's a statute that requires telecommunications companies to behave as common carriers. A public utility. You know, stuff that you need. Water, electricity, things you need to really live. Well, the internet is one of those things.
For sure! Common carriers are private companies who sell their services to everyone equally without discrimination. So imagine if UPS wanted to look inside your box before they decided whether or not they were going to deliver the box to you.
No one should get to look in my box unless I say they can look in my box.
Yeah, get out of my box.
What's in the box, Molly?
What's in the box?
It's Gwyneth Paltrow's head.
You don't want that.
Nobody wants that.
So sites that could pay cable companies extra would always have regular speed, obviously. But sites that don't or won't pay these extra fees could be slower, they could be degraded, they could be completely inaccessible.
You guys like amotostyle.com? Yeah? Guess who doesn't have money for fees? Old Mall and Sham! Companies like Comcast and Verizon are against making it a common carrier.
But why though? Dollar bills, y'all.
See ya, signs.
Say they need that money for some innovation. Oh, really? You guys don't have enough money for innovation?
You guys could probably borrow it from the Can You Hear Me Now guy.
Yeah.
I heard he's pretty loaded. He'd probably loan it back to you. Call him.
But Molly, what can we do about it?
Great question, Shamika. I'm really glad you asked. We can reach out to our local Congress peeps, right? Tumblr made it really easy for us to figure out who to get in contact with. So we provided the link below and you can click on it and you can get in touch with your Congress people and be like, hey, sham hand, get out of our internet boxes.
Let's keep the internet fair and open. So like next year after the Grammys when Kanye does something douchey, all the websites should be able to cover it equally.
Cause he will. He will.
Why though?
It's his thing. Everybody's got a thing. Like how Paris Hilton has looked the same since 2003. That's her thing.
I need a thing. While the new Sports Illustrated cover featured a lot of breasts and a little bit of vagina,
the Supreme Court upheld a ruling that breastfeeding-related firings aren't sexist. Angela Ames, a former Nationwide insurance company employee, returned after maternity leave. When she tried to get in the room that was designated for breast pumping, she was totally denied because of lack of paperwork.
After complaining to her department head, Carla Neal, she was offered 2 rooms that were already occupied and then told, quote, I think it's best that you go home and be with your babies. And then had her letter of resignation dictated to her. So, what's a girl to do? Sue Nationwide.
And then, you know, she lost. Nationwide claimed that they did everything in their power to accommodate her and did not force her resignation. And when she tried to take the case to the Supreme Court, they were not having it at all.
But why though? Ames says that she has a case of sexual discrimination. Shouldn't that go to the Supreme Court?
I would think if 2 Live Crew was taken to the Supreme Court over copyright issues that would be, you know, as important as sexism in the workplace. I could be wrong. They wouldn't even hear a petition to overturn the lower court's ruling. And one of the reasons being that breastfeeding firings aren't sexist because men can lactate too.
That's like comparing a painful waterfall to a slow dripping faucet. One of those things doesn't need a private room, you guys. So what's the takeaway from all this?
I guess tits out on magazine stands, a-okay. Tits out for breastfeeding and health purposes and baby snacks, not okay. Thank you Supreme Court, and thank you Nationwide.
Nationwide's not on your side. Especially with that Dead Boy commercial.
Yeah, that was,
See that?
yeah. What were you gonna do, Nationwide?
What were we gonna do? Stop his mother from breastfeeding him when he was a baby?
That's
Probably
how
why
he died. While Madonna showed us her moon on the red carpet.
The FAA regulates business for the moon in the sky. The US government has taken the first step to encourage commercial development on the moon.
Bigelow Aerospace has been developing inflatable space habitats. Last year, they asked the FAA to use its licensing powers to protect private sector assets on the moon since they're trying to be moonwalking in 2025.
Which is so soon.
It is really soon.
10 years, bouncy house, 10 years and a bouncy house. The Outer Space Treaty of 1967 does not allow private companies to just lay claim on a slice of moon pie without authorization. The FAA just sent them a letter saying that they would prevent harmful interference from other private companies. Basically, the FAA is kind of like MC Hammer. Somebody tries to touch a piece of that moon, they're like, can't touch this, no, 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 that's our moon! Who knows? At some point, we might be bringing you an episode of WYMWYWT. While you were tripping on Earth, this was happening on the moon.
Maybe by 2025, they'll even be having award shows on the moon. You know, who knows? We don't know. We don't know anything. You know, and then Madonna can show her moon off on the moon. Moon squared.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Anyone deserves that, it's Madonna.
Yeah, she deserves to have her moon out, her flower out, her nipples out.
Anything she wants.
Anything she wants. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for sending us some names of people to look up to celebrate for this Black History Month.
Carolyn MC sent us Neil deGRASSE Tyson's name, who's one of my favorite men ever. If you guys don't know about him, we're gonna put links below. You should learn all about him.
And next week's episode is going to be completely dedicated to Black History Month because we love it.
Black History Month, awesome, that's why. So give us even more names, comment, tweet, use this hashtag, and don't forget to subscribe.
And we'll see you next week. Bye. First base.